And a good Tuesday, everybody. Welcome in Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe. We're live today at City Winery here in Nashville. David Poyle's retirement luncheon will be taking place a little bit later, and he's going to join us later in the show as well. JoJo, what's up?
Hey, man. No, I'm excited. We get to see David Poyle today after that amazing finish last night at the Preds game. Unbelievable.
Awesome.
I mean, that was unbelievable. What was I heard the update earlier? What was it? The 12th time in history that's happened that some team scored a goal to tie and win in the last 30 seconds or something.
Yeah,
11th.
11th.
Yeah, Keyser was very excited about the stat that he found.
I love it, man.
And it was a good stat. That was the first time the Predators have ever scored a game-tying goal and go-ahead goal in the final minute of regulation in franchise history. Only 11 other times since 1931. That's from ESPN Stats and Info.
Good. I thought it should have been from Nick Keyser Info, Stats and Info.
The reporter's corner. But it was wild. So I'm there with Max Hers getting ready for the post-game show, and they tie it up in the final minute. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I guess we're getting some overtime, and then next thing I know, I hear the horn go off again, and I look up, and I'm like, what?
Is it game over? Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. That place was rocking, too. Like, people were just it felt like a playoff game as people were leaving because everybody's screaming in the concourse and, like, can you believe that? And then they're coming into Barrel House to not only watch post-game but to watch the end of the Eagles and the Chiefs game.
Oh, yeah. Didn't we do a question one day about what game did you regret leaving early?
Yeah, there's going to be some people that might have left early last night that are going to regret
that. That's why I don't understand why people leave games early when you've paid for the ticket, and I don't care if you're getting beat 49-0 or 5-0. Stay. I mean, You've paid for it. Just stay there. And traffic's going to suck anyway when you leave. Just go ahead and stay with it. So for those who left the Preds game early last night, chihuahua.
Yeah, we'll talk to Hal Gill coming up at 9:30, get his thoughts on that, and 2 in a row for the team, which has been very good as of late. Speaking of Eagles and Chiefs, the mayor of Murfreesboro gets him a pick last night.
He does, yep. And then people are like, well, he got beat on a touchdown pass.
Oh, he did.
Well, I mean, there was like a rub route, pick route, or it could have been a flag. Was that the one to Kelsey, right? In the corner? Yep. I mean, it was like a pick play. And so I don't think anybody in the NFL would have stopped that last night. But as Rex Rhodes said earlier, what we do know is he picked off Mahomes in the end zone. And Reed Blankenship had a nice game last night. So the boys from MTSU football representing last night.
Yeah, and how about this headline on ESPN? Eagles unsatisfied despite winning Chiefs rematch. That's usually the sign of a dangerous team.
It is.
Like if they're mad about a win and how they played in a win, watch out.
But you knew when Travis Kelce fumbled, when he dropped that pass, you knew what was coming. And it tore the internet up last night.
Is that the A.J. Brown? No. What was the play where, and I don't think it stood. Again, this was all during the game, but A.J. Brown basically, it was a pick, and then he ripped it out of the dude's hands, and they had to review it.
I don't remember that. I just remember Kelce had – He had the fumble inside the 20.
Yep.
He dropped the pass on 3rd and 2. He had the first down. He dropped that. And you could go to the internet and Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Shouldn't have gone to Argentina. Should have been practicing.
There it is.
And he stood up last night. Kelsey, I watched the interview. He's like, I got to be better. I've got made turnover. I mean, he answered questions. I mean, he wasn't happy about it. They just went after him and. You should be paying, date her in the off season. Don't do it now. And all this stuff with Taylor Swift. And, it's uncharacteristic of him dropping the ball and fumbling like that. It really is. But they lost the game, and Eagles went on the road and looked good last night.
Are the Eagles the best team in the NFL?
Yes. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd still put the Niners up there, but they've shown some warts. But I think the Eagles right now. Now, I don't know if there's any team in the National Football League right now that doesn't have warts. I mean, I don't think there's like this greatest of all time team, which I kind of think is fun when you have stuff like that. But I definitely would have them the best right now.
I agree with you on that. What was great last night is when the Eagles went ahead, They got down that great pass. Was it from Hurts? Was it to God? Who caught the ball at the one for the Eagles? I forget who it is now. And they lined up, and Joe Buck's like, "Here it goes! Everybody's been waiting for it." And they panned the crowd, and people were just so excited to see the brotherly shove. They were so excited. And then what was funny about that is the Chiefs were off sides on that, but the Eagles' offensive line, I thought they had him, and then they did the real push. And Hurts got like 6 yards in the end zone. It was amazing. And then, but you know what, Holmes, and this is something else I'm going to tell you, Mahomes was fantastic. Compare the Titans to those two teams. It's night and day.
Oh, 100%.
Night and
100%.
day.
Look, the Titans, I'm not going to say they're the worst team in the NFL, but they're right there. I mean, they're close. They're close to
They
it.
lose Sunday to Carolina. They're the worst team in the National Football League.
NFL.
By the way, we look adorable on the stream today.
We do. We do.
Adorable.
We do.
Just to let you guys know for those watching on the
How you doing?
on the internet.
Good to see you.
But yeah, I mean, who's worse, the Giants, the Bears, Panthers, and the Titans? I might leave one or two teams out.
I mean, on paper, and this is a dangerous phrase, but on paper, I would say the Panthers are probably worse. But the way the Titans have played, look, nothing's going to surprise me on Sunday.
No. Nah, you're right.
What's going to surprise me on Sunday is if that stadium is over 60% full.
I think it will. I think it'll be. I think it'll be close to a sellout. Thanksgiving
really?
weekend, people in town. You know, you got your son comes in town or your uncle is like, yeah, we go. You know, we've already gotten tickets to the game.
Well, like I have an opportunity to go, and I'm not sure I want to.
Okay.
You know, like that's kind of where I'm a game time decision, and like the Preds play that night, so I usually like on days like that, I'm like, yes, do the double, just make a whole day of it.
Preds play Sunday night?
Yeah.
Who do they play?
Winnipeg.
Oh, nice.
So you got Titans during the day, and then the Preds. It's a 6:00 game.
Let's walk right over.
Bridgestone, yeah.
You can go over to the Preds are lighting the Barrel House Christmas tree.
They sure are.
At 4:30 or something. You can go and take in that. Go leave the Titans game, go to the Preds game, and light the Christmas tree. You got a busy day, Chase.
I know. It is a busy day.
Proud of you. So let me ask you this then.
Ask me.
We did this a couple months ago, but we'll do it again. What game did you leave early?
It was a
one.
Preds game. I mean, I can't remember which one, but it was it wasn't 2 goals in 38 seconds in the final minute, but they were – I left one – I know what it was. I left one time. They were up 4-1. They were up by 3 goals. And I'm like, all right, this is in the bag. I'm going to go home and go to bed. And then they lost. They lost 5-4.
That's no fun, though.
No, but I blamed myself.
Do you regret? I mean, about a game that you regret, like, because everybody. There were 600,000 people at the Music City Miracle.
Hang on, this is more important.
Okay.
2 Joshes have contradicted us. Like they're being contrarians right now.
All right.
I would say not adorable, a bit much. Saying we're not adorable.
Well, Josh, the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, and I think from what I'm gathering. From reading all the messages is that we're adorable.
Yeah,
we're absolutely adorable on this stream.
We're going to believe that we're adorable, okay, Josh?
Josh, I mean, just because, you don't see it, doesn't mean other people don't see it.
You will see it.
Yeah.
Like, you look into our eyes in the stream.
Do it, Josh.
You will.
What's the other Josh saying?
I can tell you why people leave games early. School, work, traffic, etc. I've left plenty of games early to beat the traffic so I'm not dead at work the next day.
No, you knew going in. You knew going in you were going to the game.
Why go? I mean, why even go?
Yeah.
Like,
I saw people yawning last night, but they still were there and having a good time, and it was a Monday night. I guess that's just a built-in excuse, Josh. You're better than that.
Ben goes, Chase, I'll take your tickets then. Nah, we'll see. They're not my tickets. But,
man.
Okay, so my first rock concert at your favorite place,
Starwood,
was Aerosmith.
Okay.
My friend Logan, his stepdad was taking.
Well, who was Aerosmith with?
I don't remember. Tool.
Okay.
Yeah, they were with Tool.
Okay.
So, and now Tool's huge. But Tool was opening for Aerosmith back then. This was 2001. This was 3 weeks after 9/11, so we weren't sure if the show was even going to happen and all that stuff. So, it's my first rock concert, and Logan and I go. His stepdad takes us, and they're getting it they just done Dream On, and Steven Tyler and Joe Perry came out to the center of the audience, their own little stage and stuff, and they're getting into the nitty gritty. They're getting into the good stuff. And we're sitting there on the lawn, and next thing I know, Warren, his stepdad, goes, "All right, well, time to go."
No.
We're like, "What? The show's not over." He goes, "Yep, I got work tomorrow."
My,
He made us leave early.
Oh.
Like, but here's the part. Like, we left early that we're in the parking lot as they're playing Walk This Way. So, like, I can hear walk. I'm like, we could have stayed.
You were walking a certain way. It just wasn't back
I was
in there.
not happy.
I left Stevie Ray Vaughan in June of '90 at Starwood. He passed away in the helicopter accident 2 months later. And I left in June. I was like, nah, I'm not feeling it tonight. And I left. The Stevie Ray Vaughan. And I was like, what are you doing, man? And years later, like, what are you doing? You've had it. The guy was amazing, and you left. But to do what? You beat the traffic at Starwood? I mean, come on, what a joke.
People are disagreeing. Rebecca, my money, my choice to be home so I can function at work. Okay, you're right. That is, but
yeah.
But, like, to me, and again, this is just me, in my opinion, like, if I'm going to spend money on an event, whether it's a concert or a sporting event, you know, I want to get everything out of it.
Sure.
And so, like, if I know I have an early day, I'm probably not going to go to a game.
Exactly.
You know, I'm going to just skip it unless it's, you know,
but it's not
a team that I like. Unless it's like a huge game.
Yeah.
Or something.
Well, the question is, what game have you regret? I mean, that's fine, Rebecca. I understand. But what game have you regretted? Like, oh, I should have stayed, or event, I should have stayed. I should have done all that. We all have those. I mean, obviously, the Music City Miracle comes first, and
sure.
I know a few that left the Mike Fisher overtime goal in the playoffs in 2016. I mean, it was 1:30 in the morning.
Sure.
I get that, but there are people like, I'm tired, and I understand that. But you end up, but you're there, so just go ahead and stay there if you can.
Well, Josh says, built-in excuse, ? I live in Kentucky, bro, an hour and a half away from Nashville. There's a difference between reasons and excuses, so there's that. That's fine. I mean, like,
Josh bringing the heat today.
I know. I mean, I don't know where every listener lives, so you know.
We get Josh. We love you, man. We
Thank
understand,
you,
but it's just if you're there, you're there, and if your team's getting beat 7-0 in hockey or 49-0 in football, I mean, you could go ahead and head on out. That's fine.
A couple of people want to weigh in on this. We'll do that. 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We are live today at City Winery. David Poyle's retirement luncheon. He's going to join us later in the 10 o'clock hour. Hal Gill at the bottom of the hour. But we'll get to your calls next here on Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McKay, Big Joe Dubin, Jason Big Joe here today at City Winer in Nashville. Nick Frazier, Dr. Crane is back at the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Feel free to weigh in on anything we're talking about, but especially this. Have you left the game early, and do you regret it? Now,
You going to read it?
yeah,
Josh?
Josh and I have had a little back and forth here.
First of all, it's a simple question.
Right.
Do you regret ever leaving a game or an event early? That's the question, and we love the responses. But now it's gotten, like, really deep. And we love you, Josh.
And, I mean, now my mother is listening to us and goes, who or what is Josh? What does he matter?
Yes.
So he says, plus, y'all get paid to talk about sports on the damn radio. Like, y'all got it
Language.
so difficult. You don't know what people deal with in their jobs day to day. So come on. All right. So I'm going to address that because, people like to go down that road. You don't know what we deal with on a daily basis. We're not in some ivory tower and looking down and going, talking sports of Nashville.
Right.
We have the same crap that you deal with. Correct. And I pay for a lot of stuff. I mean, there are perks. I'm not going to deny that, but I get it. It's your decision.
Correct.
To do what you want.
But
we're having a fun discussion.
Right.
So, that's what this is. But
this is also a profession.
we all deal with our own stuff.
We chose, and we all work from the ground up. I'm not going to give our resume out, but like anybody else in life and business, we worked ourselves up, and that's it. And so
this is a question that's offended people, and I don't get why it's offended people. This is just a state of where we are as a society of, like, people pissed off on a Tuesday. Has Mike Vrabel pissed you off that much?
We got more upset. We're just asking a simple question. We love the interaction, and I love this job. I love working with Chase. I love working at 102.5. I love everybody there. I mean, and I'm extremely grateful, but that's not the question today. I mean, the question is, have you ever regretted leaving a sporting event or an event early?
All right, now Josh has gotten funny. Because I said it's a fun discussion. Have you ever left or not left, or do you regret it? To be fair, you don't know what we deal with in our jobs either, but appreciate you listening. And Josh, we do. He goes, exactly, that's why I said what I said. But have a fan takeover day. I'll come do what you do. No sweat. Your mom can come on the show. It's all love, though.
I mean, you know what? That is a fantastic idea. We'll sit with him. Well, he can run the show.
I think we've done something similar to that.
You before. Donate to a charity, you can do that. But Chase and the big bosses and Chase can figure that out. That'd be fun.
Caleb and Gallatin, why is everyone taking that question so harsh, like they're offended? It sounds like people put salt instead of sugar in their coffee this morning.
Right.
Me personally, if I pay for an event, I'm staying the whole time unless it's a blowout game.
Yeah, look, if you leave early, that's fine. But the question is, what game have you regretted, or an event have you regretted leaving early? And that's it. If you want to leave after the first quarter, that is your prerogative. Bobby Brown wrote that song for you. You can do whatever you want. That's the question
and
today.
Then Brittany ruined it.
Did she sing that too?
She did. No, actually, I like her version, but
she covered Bobby Brown's "My Prerogative"?
Yeah.
That's another question of the day. People who have covered songs and done a terrible job at it. Leanne Rimes covered "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins, I think, and it was brutal. Just brutal. Leave it alone.
I think a question would be a cover that's better than the original.
Okay.
Like Power Station, Bang a Gong is better than the T-Rex version.
Friends in Low Places by Garth, much better than the Oak Ridge Boys.
Was it the Oak Ridge Boys, or was it? It wasn't the Oak Ridge Boys.
Mark Chestnut had it too.
Mark Chestnut, yeah.
Yeah, but the Oaks had it. Then Mark didn't do it, and then on down the line.
Yeah,
there.
that's
another day.
2832. My dad would bowl in a bowling tournament in Cincinnati every year, and we would go to a Reds game. The game we went that year was delayed by rain, so we had to leave the game early. It was the night Tom Browning threw his perfect game in 1988. When I saw the paper the next morning, walking into the bowling alley, I was devastated. Well, that was like mine. I told when we did this before that I was in it was my first Daytona 500, and I knew Dale Jr. was going to win, and there was a huge rain delay. They didn't get the race started back until like 6, 7 o'clock at night. We were staying in Jacksonville, and Darren was like, "We got to drive back to Jacksonville." And
you got to blame Darren for this.
Of course I do, and he knows I blame him for this. But it's not that he was wrong. Like, I knew he was right, but I knew it was going to happen, and I'm sitting in my room by myself, and Dale Jr. wins the race, and I hear a knock on the door.
Oh, no.
He hands me a beer. He's like, "I'm sorry."
That's why
he knew.
no matter where you go in life, Chase, you always drive. You always drive yourself.
Yep. Wes in Clarksville. Message for look, he can go if he wants. He says, "Why go to a game if you live that far? If you're paying for the game, then stay the whole game and get your money's worth." I get it. People. And that's the thing about our city. It's such a destination now that people that live an hour and a half away in Kentucky are going to drive to go to a Preds game or a Titans game or a concert or whatever.
Yeah.
I get it. Now that I know he lives an hour and a half away, okay, but still, there are certain things that I'm just not.
Well,
leaving
he's the
early.
first candidate now for Fan Takeover Day.
Yeah. 5201. How much time do they actually save leaving early? That's a great question.
Yep. You're right. I mean, if you know I'm going to get stuck in the garage and I got to beat this traffic, then don't go. Then you know what's going to happen if you go to a game and you stay. For those who left the Preds game last night, I mean, it was history making, and that was fantastic. And I'm sure there's some this morning like, oh, man, we've all done it. And we've all I can't believe we did that. Again, we go back to the Music City Miracle. So many people left that game, and I was there.
Well, there were 680,000 people there.
At least, right, for that game.
Rebecca says, "Go listen to Dolly's new album. Her covers are great." Now she did a collab album where she covered a bunch of rock songs, included "In the Air Tonight," and it's actually cool.
She did "Open Arms" with Steve Perry.
Yeah,
gotta listen to that too.
0953. I love you guys. Thanks for the entertainment in the morning. My regret is leaving the Preds versus Blues when the Preds came back 3-0 in the third period. I think that was one. I think I did leave that one.
Why would
that
you
was the
leave
one
that?
I don't remember.
There've been so many comebacks for other teams in the Preds in games in 3-0, the worst lead in hockey. Isn't that the old joke?
Yeah. A vote for a cover that's good. Shinedown did Simple Man. It is a very good cover.
Okay.
Very good cover.
Have not.
Covers always work when it's angrier than the original.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's funny. That's true. 1976. Did I miss you guys judging someone for leaving early? No, it's just our question. All Along the Watchtower by Jimmy over Bob Dylan.
Yes.
I would agree with that. Because Bob Dylan actually did an interview one time, that song had hit #1 with Jimmy, and he goes, "How does it feel to have the #1 song?" He goes, "I don't know. Ask Jimmy. It's his now."
Bob Dylan also said the song that Garth covered from Hope Floats, "Make You Love Me," whatever. Bob Dylan also said that's the way Garth sang it. That's how it should have been sang, and I did not do it that way, and his cover's better.
So there's another Garth song that was a cover. Billy Joel. Shameless.
Yep.
Yeah, and when I saw Billy Joel at Bridgestone, he actually did it the way Garth did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
said a cowboy hat.
Yes, but he said Garth's version's better.
Okay,
so we're gonna do it this way.
Did he also cover "Call Him Baton Rouge"?
Yeah, that was the Oaks.
Bella Fleck.
That's what you're thinking of.
No, Bella Fleck had that, I think.
Look it up. I think the Oaks had that.
"Call Him Baton Rouge"?
Yep.
I mean, Bella Fleck.
Okay.
Well, I'll bet you a lunch today at City Winery.
Okay, there you go.
All right, we'll do that.
Let's go to Buffalo real quick. He wants to weigh in on this. Buffalo, what's up?
Jose Feliciano, I believe he wrote "Come On Baby, Light My Fire," or one of those old rock and roll songs. He doesn't get a lot of credit. But also, the Cranberries' "Zombie" was covered by some metal band, and that's a bad version of that song.
Like bad meaning good, bad meaning bad.
Oh, it's that "Zombie." Oh, it rocks.
Okay.
I don't know if it's Metallica or who, but going back to the football, y'all remember that Green Bay Dallas game? It was a playoff game. I won tickets through a lottery through the Nashville Packers to go to that game. It was like 12 degrees outside, and Desmond Howard had some kind of controversial catch in the end zone where he didn't catch the ball. Green Bay won. The Green Bay ended up winning the playoff game. Y'all remember that game?
I do not.
I think I remember it.
I was there. 12 degrees outside. Yeah.
Appreciate the call, Buffalo. Thank you. Wes and Hermitage, I'll volunteer to do a show at Pop Attorneys with Junie. No supervision required. As a matter of fact, just don't listen that day, but it'll be fun, and I'm sure you'll get some emails the next day.
Oh, yeah. Pop Attorneys is good.
Text blowing up on this.
Real quick, Chaser, I got to admit when I'm wrong, and you win.
Oaks.
The Oaks recorded "Call 'Em Baton Rouge" in 1978. Then Billy Joe Spears recorded it, but Colin Baton Rouge, well done, man. You were just
I try.
Yeah.
Look, I know some stuff. Music
did I?
trivia. All right, we'll continue with the. I mean, look at this text line blowing up.
oh my Lord.
By the way, do we want to? I know you had a music theme today, but do we want to go covers now, or do you want to keep with yours?
Let's keep it
Okay,
because
that's fine.
the Stones announced the 2024
That's
World
fine.
Tour.
Okay, that's fine. We'll talk to Hal Gill coming up
Okay.
next. Get his thoughts on last night's awesome win by the Predators. That's next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game, live today at City Winery. David Poyle's retirement luncheon. He will join us later on in the show, and I know he's going to be in a good mood because what a game it was last night at Bridgestone Arena. The Predators come back the final 38 seconds, score 2 goals to win in regulation, goals by Forsberg and Trennan, and they get the 4-3 win over the Colorado Avalanche. Let's say hello now to Hal Gill, Predators analyst, both for Bally Sports and for us here on the radio side. Skillsy, have you ever witnessed anything like that during your playing career or now your broadcasting career?
Yeah, that was pretty awesome, wasn't it? I mean, that's I feel like, especially against a team like Colorado, like to come out and have a huge game like that. You don't see Colorado do that very often. Give up a lead right at the end and then lose it. So yeah, pretty exciting. I've seen some crazy things. That's right up there with it, though.
Yeah, and look, overall, I mean, I liked the game that the Predators played, but like you said, I mean, they needed that at the end, and for a guy like Philip Forsberg to get that game-tying goal, I mean, we've been waiting for it. To me, I would say he's on a heater right now, his 9th goal of the season.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It's been a while where you're saying, okay, Phil is this kind of player, and he just wasn't that kind of player. He's been the skill guy, he's been the perimeter guy, and now he's getting into the interior, getting into the front of the net, and like if you look at a lot of the goals he's had over the last few games have been deflections and rebounds, and he's knocked 2 out of the air that he's put in right on the crease. Skilled plays, but he's getting those scoring chances because he's digging in and grinding, and so now we're starting to see the whole Phil Forsberg that I've been looking for, and that's pretty exciting. And you heard Bruno in the post game last night was saying, where our team goes, where Phil goes is where our team goes, and that's how big of a leader he is right now.
How can you're the head coach last night. You walk in that locker room after what you just witnessed. What do you tell the team?
Oh, I don't as Bruno going in there, or as the bad guys, or Colorado?
As Hal Gill walk in that Preds locker room last night, and you're the head coach of that hockey team.
I don't think you have to say anything. I think the fun part about being a coach is when your team thrives and sticks to what your process was. I mean, they attacked the net from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, and they didn't get the great chances, but they were all right there. They're all in the crease. They're all battling to try to find a way to score goals. They played fast. They played hard. It wasn't mistake-free, but the compete was there, and that's what I think would make any coach happy. I mean, that's what you want out of your team is a relentless pursuit on pucks, and I think they had that from start to finish. So I don't think as a coach I wouldn't say anything. I just let the boys enjoy it and enjoy it myself.
Do you do it today when you go to practice? Say, look, this is what it is. When we all play together as one, we all come together as one, and we don't quit. This is what we're capable of doing. Do you tell them that today?
If you're a good coach, you don't have to. If they get it, you don't have to tell them anything. They saw it, right? I mean, there's nothing better than winning, right? I mean, that's what you're there for. And if you go out there and you did all the things that you're supposed to do and you won, I don't think you need. The proof is in the pudding. Is that what they say?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Did I ruin that?
No, that's good. As long as it's vanilla pudding.
They saw it. They saw it. They saw how if you keep digging in and you stick to what the game plan is and execute it as best you can, you get rewarded for it. And whether it's early in the game you get rewarded or it comes down to the last second, you get rewarded for it, and that's what you're there for.
So you said before, the 59 minutes and 20 seconds before they got the game-winning goal and the tying goal, you thought the Preds were playing well?
Yeah, I do. Cale Makar had 3 assists, and when you're playing against elite guys like Makar, it's kind of a difficult game to play because you're like, okay, we're doing the right things, but this guy is killing us. And so I think they had that a little bit where they were like, okay, Colorado's a better team. I have no disillusion that better team. They had better, more impact players, but they played well against McKinnon and Rantanen. They did play well against Makar, but he's just that good that he has 3 assists. But they stuck to their game plan and they competed. And, if you look at, there's really no weak link in that lineup. Even with McDonough out, even with Novak out, and Shen, these guys are out of the lineup. They still went out and competed and fought for each other, and it worked out in the end. And so I think the game that they played and the compete that they played with against a really good team, they saw the results, and I think they stuck to the game plan.
We're talking to Hal Gill, Predators analyst. And going back to Forsberg for a second, Shane in the Borough texts in and says, Ryan O'Reilly's the best thing to ever happen to Forsberg. And I kind of feel like we've seen that over the course of Philip's career, that early on it was Mike Ribeiro, and then obviously Ryan Johansson and the years that they had together. Obviously he returned last night. I'll ask you about that in a second. But now I do feel like there's just that instant chemistry that he's developed with O'Reilly.
It's not just the chemistry; it's the little things that really separate what Forsberg was and what he is now, and the way he's playing now. He always had spurts of attacking the net, and now playing with O'Reilly, I feel like. Don't you feel like everyone is stronger on their stick right now?
Yeah.
I feel like they win more battles, and I don't think it's coincidence. I think they look at Ryan O'Reilly and they go, oh, that's how you're supposed to play. And it trickles down through the lineup. I think everyone watches him. He's got the respect in the locker room, and what he's done. He's been a competitor. He's won cup. He's the Conn Smythe. He's that guy. He's going to win you a big face-off. He's going to kill a penalty. He does all these things so well. I think it's just human nature. You watch him and you say, okay, how does he do that? And now you go out and try to mimic what he does because he's had success. And then all of a sudden you go, well, Philip Forsberg's scoring goals from the slot and getting rebounds and competing and winning battles. And then all of a sudden everyone's doing that. And I think that's the slow build that you're getting from this team, and hopefully they can continue. I think that's the idea Barry Trotz had when he brought in guys like O'Reilly to set that tone of how this is how you play and this is how we're going to play.
Hal, what still drives you a little bit crazy about this Predator hockey team?
You know what? It's hard to say it drives me crazy because I kind of knew it was going to happen. You're going to be inconsistent, like what was it, 3 or 4 games ago, we were talking about how they're giving up 2-goal leads left and right. And that's frustrating. But, it's, having kids is frustrating, Having a 12-year-old like I do, he's the best kid in the world. And then I want to, you want to throw him out the door and tell him to go do it himself because he's driving you crazy. But then he comes back around and he's the best kid, and I think it's like parenting. Yeah, right. I don't know if that's a great analogy.
Great analogy. Great.
That's the way it feels right now. Is because you want them to be consistently awesome, and it's really hard to do, especially for a young team.
Real quick, they did a nice job honoring Ryan Johansson last night, and obviously all the charitable things that he was a part of. He was pretty emotional before talking about it was like coming home, but. Pretty special to see Joey back in the building.
Yeah, that was cool. You know what? It's everyone has their problems with players as they go through, and Joey at the end, you're like, okay, Joey, come on, carry this team. I think it just wasn't the right time anymore, so they had to move him. But and change that culture that we were just talking about, But Joey's gone on to a good team, and he's now the supporting cast for like the McKinnon and Rantanen. I feel like he's found a home, but forever. I think people will remember him as that guy in the runs, playing playoff hockey and being a beast. Like he was dominant for a long time with the Preds, and he was that first line center that everyone was looking for, playing on the Jofa line. So. It was nice that everyone kind of gave him the respect that he deserves for a great time in Nashville.
Well, and I think, as we honor David Poile today at his luncheon and then tomorrow night at the game, that's going to go down as one of David Poile's better trades for sure, because it was a game changer for this franchise. No doubt about that. Hal, appreciate it as always, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Hey, have a happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you and the family. Appreciate it,
One
Hal.
more game, and then we can relax. One more one tomorrow, and then hopefully another win and get some turkey in us.
That's right. I love it. Thanks, Hal. Hal Gill
Okay.
joining us here on the program as he does every Tuesday at 9:30. Coming up next, what are you done with? What are you mad about? I'm done. Our segment, you can call 615-737-1025, or you can text. What is something that you are done with? On the line, we have we'll give away 2 winners, actually.
Oh,
a pair
love
of
it.
tickets to see OAR at the Ryman Auditorium on September 1st. That's a show coming up in 2024, September 1st, OAR at Ryman Auditorium. You must participate, though. What are you done with? 615-737-1025. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5-106.3 The Game. Favorite karaoke song of mine, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3. The Game. We're presented by Regal Realty Group, and it is time to play I'm Done. What is something you're done with?
That song came out like 65, 67 right there. It's that long. I mean, that's long
I
as that.
thought it was earlier than that.
Is it?
I don't know.
You're looking at. You're a fast typer, man.
65. You're right.
There we go.
Yeah.
JoJo.
Nice.
All right, so what are we done with? Can I go?
Yeah.
All right, so you know I love my favorite.
OAR tickets on the line. Must participate.
Am I available for this?
1025, sure.
Okay. So you know I love my gym, Competitive Edge, Strength and Training out in Hermitage. Proud sponsors on the show. Love them. Love that gym. Almost saved my life over there. So here's the deal, folks, at the gym. If you're bench pressing or whatever you're doing, and we call it rack the weights, when you're done, just take the weights off and put them back up. It gets worse and worse. You people don't put the weights off. I know it's, look, like, I just take them off yourself. No, I didn't put them there. You put them there. You take them off. I told a guy at the gym that I said, hey, man, do you mind stripping the weight down? Oh, yeah, I was going to do that. Then why are you on the other side of the gym now just doing that? It's simple courtesy and manners. Rack the weights at the gym. And then come see me at Competitive Edge and hang out.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Mine is a very simple task.
Okay.
I feel like that you as a father have, with your kids have taught them this over the years, that when you get something from a place, you put it back where you found it. It's a very simple concept.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm done with people not putting stuff back where they found it. Prime example, and sometimes I've been known to do this where if something happens that I'm not happy about with our work, I will bring it to the airwaves. I got here this morning to set something up, set our broadcast up, and I couldn't find this white extension cord that has stayed in the road kit for years. Now it is gone because somebody didn't put it back after using it.
Heads are going to roll today at 11:01.
That did not make me very happy. So
just put things back.
Just put it back. It's a very simple thing.
Okay.
Just if you take something, go put it back where you found it.
I dig it. Okay, I can do that.
And I will admit, I'm sure everybody on the face of the earth is guilty of doing that and not doing it. You know what I mean? But to me, it's very simple. Like if you use something, put it back where you found it.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, that's I've taught my kids that. They don't listen to me, but yeah, I taught my kids.
And another pet peeve along those same lines is like I have a ton of chargers and everything in my office, and like, I'll get a text from some of the weekend crew like, "Hey man, can I use your charger?" Sure, of course you can, and they put it back, and like everything's great. Then you have some that'll go and just grab it and then put it back, but they'll never ask you about it.
Yeah.
And then because it's like moved, it's like just ask me. I'm going to say yes. Just
right, okay.
It's just communication.
So ask that way. All right. And I know people a lot are done with Vrabel, a lot of people are done with the Titans and done with the offensive line. And that's pretty much, they've been done with that for like a week and a half.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Vrabel and his little hissy fit yesterday.
Yeah, so 615-737-1025. What are you done with?
Let's see. Josh says, done with Highway 24 from Clarksville to Nashville. It's ridiculous. The people that drive on that road should have to retake their license exam every 2 weeks. It's the worst highway in the entire freaking US of A. Oh, and I'm done with the Falcons, too. God, we suck.
I mean, I thought they'd be a lot better than that in that crappy NFC South division, but I don't know if it's
24 is a nightmare, though.
24, up
in Rutherford County, Montgomery County.
Well, 65 up by Portland's a nightmare. Is what's awful. I mean, it's absolutely awful to go up that way. We brought up Donaldson Pike. The construction at the airport over there, and I get it. You got to grow. I get all that. But, man, it's just – does it have to be that bad? I mean, it's awful. I mean, you get stuck over – if you get stuck sometimes in the day, you're there for an hour. It's bad.
Judy. Amen to that. I wasn't the one who moved the white extension cord. I've been looking for it. Thank you, Judy. Let's see. What was I going to say? TJ and Franklin. I'm done with the Taylor Swift puns during Kansas City football games and always painting to her anytime Kelsey sniffs the ball. Yeah, is that because they lost last night?
Right. Well, I mean, you're going to get used to that for a while because that NFL is loving the Taylor Swift, Travis. They are loving because they're bringing untold millions of people to watch football. And you think everybody watches football, but everybody doesn't. But now you got all the Swifties watching football and everything. And so that's going to be for a while. Imagine this team goes on a long run back to the Super Bowl. Oh, man.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say I'm done with having stuff that doesn't work around the house. Prime example: if you have an air fryer or some sort of fryer for Thanksgiving. Last year, my family, not gonna put anybody under the bus, but our air fryer did not work because we plugged it in and it was frayed out. So the only person that had an air fryer or fryer was my uncle that lived out in Fairview. So we had to take the whole turkey all the way out to Fairview, fry it, bring it back to Nashville, and we got a new air fryer this year, which is good. But that is a big pet
Dr.
peeve.
Craig, you throw somebody under the bus. That's what you're done. I mean, you throw somebody under the bus.
I can't. I love my family too much, man. Can't do
Look
it.
at you. You're 100% Italian, man. Love you, man.
I won't be able to eat on
I get
Thanksgiving
you.
if I throw someone under the bus.
I get you. You would never apologize for Fredo, would you?
Maybe.
Nick, you know who Fredo is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Godfather.
Oh, my man.
Nice.
A lot of your coworkers don't know what The Godfather is, which we'll have a
Best
They need to
movie
watch
on the
it. It's a
planet.
good movie.
good job, Dr. Crane.
you,
Raymond
sir.
and Franklin, Big Joe, preach brother, such a pet peeve at the gym. And Henry agrees with you, too.
It is. Just take I don't care if it's a 5-pound or a 2.5. I had to do it this morning at the gym. There was a 25 lift on both sides of the barbells, of the dumbbells, barbell. I'm sorry. Take it off. Just remove it, and it's so simple to do that. Look, you're at the gym anyway, so you're exercising. You're trying to get better. Be better, and come see me at Competitive Edge.
Kenny in Spring Hill is going to win because this is just a very simple one, and this is what's wrong with society. I'm done with saying thank you and not getting back a you're welcome. Like sometimes it's just it's simple and nice.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right. That's simple. That's like take it to a step further. I let you out in traffic.
Yeah, the wave.
You don't wave at me, I'm riding your butt.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to
I flipped somebody off one time. They didn't wave, and I'm like, almost said what I said.
Yeah, just wave at me. That's fine. I'll let you out all day long. Just wave at me. That's all I want.
3114 on the lines of putting stuff back where you found him. Can you all please put Jared back where you found him, be it Louisville or wherever?
We'll put him back. He'll be at 2 to 6 today. You can you can hear him all you want to right there.
There you go. All right, we'll award some winners. Kenny, you're definitely a winner. I'm done. Are we done with Mike Vrabel? He had a little hissy fit. Another one yesterday. We'll discuss that coming up next. Chasing Big Joe. 1025, 1063 The Game. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McKay, Big Joe Dubin with you on this Tuesday as we are at City Winery here in Nashville to honor David Poyle, his retirement luncheon today. He's going to join us a little bit later in the hour, so looking forward to that conversation with him. But getting into the Titans and Mike Vrabel, and the conversation for the last 2 days has been, should his seat be hot? I listened to Jared yesterday. He did his If I Own the Team. And
yeah, let me turn that off. Sorry about that, Chase.
like, I hear myself.
Sorry about that.
He did his If I Own the Team. He's cleaning house at the end of the year. It's basically including Rand Carthon. And Jared does not.
Is he?
He's just not like Rand Carthon. He's made that very clear. But
Lord,
I don't know if I'm going to go that far. Look, and we've said this, and a lot of the fan base is done with Vrabel, and they feel like his seat should be hot. In reality, I don't think it is. I think that Amy Adams Strunk looked at, in firing John Robinson when she did. She basically said this is Vrabel's team. She's going to give Vrabel a little bit more of a leash and time, and he's look at it as it's not all his fault. A lot of it is, but that's how I think she's probably looking at it. But you can definitely tell that things are getting testy when it comes to Mike Vrabel. This was an exchange yesterday that he had with Teron Davenport during his press conference.
Examples of you still having a firm hold, a firm control of the locker room, so to speak?
I've never, are you questioning that? I'm not sure. Is that something that you're are you questioning, Teron, my control of the locker room?
I'm asking
You're questioning it.
No, what I'm asking you is for examples of how you still have. I'm not saying you do or don't have control of it. What I want to know is, what are some examples of you having control?
The same ones that I've had since I got here. I mean, I don't know how to do it any other way. Be honest with them, coach them, and I have not. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it because I don't think that there's that's an issue. I wish we would win. I wish we were winning. Wish we were better, but we're not. I'm not going to compromise the things that I believe that are going to help us win, and about the details and about the little things, and not letting those slide, and doing my best to hold everybody accountable, including myself, as we go through this.
That was Mike Vrabel yesterday. I heard that exchange, and I just went, oh, boy, here we go. Because I thought it was a fair question by Teron. I thought it was a fair question by Paul on Sunday to ask about the job security. That's what happens when you go through the stretch that they've been on going back to last year. That's just a part of the territory. But, Teron, to me, the way he asked the question, he wasn't questioning Mike Vrabel necessarily. He was asking, all right, give me the examples of how you think, you still have control of the room and that your message is still getting across. Because I think you and I feel, I won't put words in your mouth, but,
please don't.
I don't feel like that control is 100% there anymore, because it does feel like that the message might not be getting through completely.
I go back. I think the Kevin Byard thing really put a something in that locker room which you'd not seen before. Because I think Byard was so beloved by his teammates and because of his work ethic and his attitude. And they're thinking, man, if they're going after Byard, am I next? And I know we've been down this sort of billion times, but I think that planted the seed of like, oh, okay, well, and then, Byard gets traded, and it's even more like, man, why would they trade this guy? And it kind of just casts a little shadow in the back of your mind of what's going on over there. And then you couple it with losing, not playing well, being uninspired. I mean, this is the perfect bad storm for Mike Vrabel and everybody over there right now. It is not good. It's not getting any better, at least in the foreseeable future. And you lose to the Panthers on Sunday, you are the worst team in the National. You are the worst team in the National Football League which is a far cry from where this team was a year ago, 2 years ago. And the fall has been something that we haven't seen here in a long time. I mean, the 2000 Titans team was fantastic. They went 7-9 and 0-1, but they weren't bad. All right, they weren't. They were an average football team. They rebounded in 0-2 with the AFC Championship game. 0-3, they should have beat the Patriots up in New England. Drew Bennett catches a pass. Then 0-4, they weren't bad. They fell down a little bit. 0-5 was bad, but now you're 2 years removed from being the number one team in the AFC, and now you're the worst team in football almost. It's not good right now, and so what happens when things aren't good? Heads roll, and people get fired, people get let go, and people move on. That's where we are right now with the Titans team.
I agree, and I just when I listen to him right now, I mean, he seems miserable. I mean, it just seems absolutely miserable.
Well,
and he
you
should.
think about
like he's a competitor. He wants to win.
Look at this. He won at Ohio State. He got drafted by the Steelers for 4 years. They were very good when he was at Pittsburgh, right? Then he goes to the Patriots. They win 3 Super Bowls in his 8 years there. They go to another Super Bowl when he's there. So he's used to that way of winning. And now you got what's going on. So he's frustrated. Every coach that's losing you shouldn't accept any of that stuff. But the way now he's kind of, went after Rexroad in his hands, and now with Teron, and it's just there's a different vibe coming from over there.
Yeah, and here was a follow-up by Teron, and then I have more on this.
Is there anything that you feel or what makes you feel that it's going to remain that way even if, you guys should happen to keep losing? Like, what gives you confidence that you could?
Well, the players in there. I think that, you got to build something with the people that you trust. And again, we've always said about, culture is defining yourselves by what you look like, when things aren't well, things aren't great right now. And we know what they are. And so, we've got to count on our leadership and then finding out. And if there are guys like that, exposing them. And then we certainly don't want them here, and I don't think there are guys like that.
See, when he gives an answer like that, I feel like he's closer to saying, what he wants to say than kind of holding back. Because you can always tell when he's holding back, when he doesn't want to just fly off the handle. And there are times where I kind of wish he just would, not only for the fact that it's good content, but also it's like, just stop BSing and just be real. Like, be pissed off. It's okay to be pissed off. And if you don't like a question, it's okay to not like a question. I still would answer it. But you can be like, hey, I understand why you're asking this question. Right. I don't like it. Here's why. But and then have an exchange and whatever. That's okay. But
well, go back to the 2 coaches he played for in the NFL. Not the Chiefs. Who was his coach at Pittsburgh?
Bill Cowher.
And then with the Patriots.
Bill Belichick.
How were they with the media? I mean, they hold no punches. I mean, they went after. And so that's who kind of molded who he is. And that's fine. But, it's just now, just come out and say, look. And he's done it partly of saying, hey, we're not good. We got to play better. And I get that. I mean, that's what you got to go out and say and everything. And I don't know, but I don't know. What do you want him to say? That's my thing. What do you want him to say that he's not already saying?
I would be curious.
He's not going to call players out.
No,
he's not going to call players out.
He's not. And to that point, that's a very good point. I think that there are some guys in that locker room that he's done with, and he knows that, but there's nothing he can do about it right now. I do kind of wonder if there's some dissension because maybe there's some bad seeds or there's some guys that are just done, that have checked out.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely some of that. And to your point of the Cowher Steelers and the Belichick Patriots, that stuff didn't fly.
No,
those guys were gone.
Yeah, that's right. And example by Cowher was a Super Bowl and Hall of Fame coach. Belichick's one of the best coaches ever. But, yeah, so that's why I guess I want to know, what do you want Vrabel to say? Well, I mean, what do you want him to come out and say that would make you happy?
I just want to I don't know if it's about making me happy. I just want him to be honest.
How do you know he's not honest now?
I just think he's holding back.
From saying some of our players are not giving their all?
Yeah, or that, or just –
But he has said that?
Just be angrier. Maybe
it's not his MO. Maybe I want you to get mad at something. You're like, hey, man, that's not in my – for example, Mariota, right?
Sure.
When he was here, Mariota was not a leader, okay?
Nope.
Great guy, fantastic human being, Not a leader. People got so mad. Well, you should be. I remember a question was asked to him at camp, and I think Paul asked this. Kuharski is a great question about why are you not more vocal you're the quarterback, why are you not more vocal? And Mariota said something along the lines like, that's not who I am.
Sure.
So maybe Vrabel that's not who he is.
And look, some people are, and that's a good point.
Great point.
I do think Vrabel
Damn.
I do think Vrabel is a leader. I mean, I do. I think he's shown signs of it. He showed signs of it when he was a player. I mean, I definitely think he's a leader. To your point on Mariota, he wasn't. And some people are and some people aren't. I mean, I look at myself. I'm a nice guy. I'm not hellfire and brimstone. When I try to be, I just come off as a jerk. Like, it doesn't work.
Right.
But I'd like to think that I do have natural leadership skills that work in my own way. Mariota just ultimately that wasn't him. And that's fine. But so that's certainly a good point. 615-737-1025 if you want to weigh in on Mike Vrabel and where he is at right now. You can do that on our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Hey, coming up this Saturday, 2:30, it's the college football game of the week. Vanderbilt takes on Tennessee, presented by Twin Peaks. Pre-game coverage at 1 o'clock. Take your tailgate to Twin Peaks for scenic views of all the hottest college football games across the country and home of the 29-degree beer. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3. The Game. Joy Jared Stillman, Chris Sanders, and Derek Mason at Teddy's Tavern this Sunday from 9:30 to 11:30. It's the pregame show. They'll break down the Titans' Week 12 matchup against the Panthers and give you the latest updates before the game. Pregame is presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment and the Beast Unleashed. And we are sponsored by Regal Realty Group here on the Chasing Big Joe show.
Love Regal Realty Group and our good friend Hunter Briley. Love you, man. Happy birthday a few days ago to you, Hunter. Love you being part of this show. All right, Chase, a little college football for you right now. Question to you, does Billy Napier, if Florida State blows out Florida Saturday, does Billy Napier get fired in his second year in Gainesville?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
He does. He will be gone. They'll be 5-7 after what happened.
Robbie disagrees with us, but I'm telling you.
I'm tired of. I am tired of Robbie's attitude. Let me tell you that right now.
I'm not. I met his beautiful daughter last night for
Yes.
the first time, Allison. She was at her first Preds game, and so Robbie's okay.
What a special. What a fun night for Robbie. I saw the pictures. And
Yeah.
I can't hate on Robbie because his aunt went to high school with me, and she's a dear friend. So
His mom will get you, too.
He will. That's right. Mama Stanley will take you down.
You don't mess with the Cubs.
You're right. So, yeah, I think he's gone. Now, there's a little rumor out there now about Brian Kelly at LSU possibly headed back to Michigan State. Now, do you give that any validation or no? Any validity or no?
No. Why would he do that?
Okay, evidently he's not. Some pockets of Tiger fans aren't big fans of Brian Kelly.
Well, okay, because he hasn't won yet.
Okay.
But, yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be a step down for him.
If you're Jimbo Fisher, do you go get a job immediately to prove people you can coach, or do you fester a year or two and let people talk about you?
That's a really good question. He could. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think Michigan State would hire Jimbo Fisher. You know, like he could jump to the Big Ten or whatever, even though I think he's an SEC guy. If I'm him and if I want to land back in the SEC, I sit out for a year or two. I maybe go do TV. I think he could do TV because he likes to hear himself talk.
If you are Mississippi State, do you hire Jimbo Fisher?
No.
Why not?
No.
Dr. Crane?
No, absolutely not. I don't want nothing about Jimbo Fisher in Starkville, Mississippi. Get him out of the vicinity of Starkville, Mississippi right now.
I'll tell you who I would hire if I'm Mississippi State. I'd bring Dan Mullen back.
Oh, he's not coming back. He's already talked about how much he likes his job and traveling and everything. He ain't coming back. All right, so Dan
Money
Mullen
talks.
So do you does one certain coach get his third shot at a head coaching job? Does Will Muschamp take the Mississippi State job?
Ooh.
He's proved himself the last couple of years as the de facto defensive coordinator for the Georgia Bulldogs.
That actually might not be a terrible fit for him.
I'm going to lean no.
Dr. Crane's got vested interest.
I mean, like, I wouldn't – if I'm a Mississippi State fan like you are, Nick, I don't think I'd love that hire. But I don't know. Like, I just – and I know you know Will a little bit. I don't – he's never proven that he can be the CEO. Like, he's a really good coordinator. He's one of the best coordinators in the country.
He is.
But he's just not been – like, if you can't do well at South Carolina – then what makes me think you're going to do well at Mississippi State?
Okay. His boy is going to go to Vanderbilt play quarterback, so he'll be out of high school. So I think this will give – now, there's been no mention of Will Muschamp at Starkville, nothing along those lines. But if you're going to get a coach who comes from another school in the SEC to be plugged in there you go.
I think the next retread in the SEC is going to be Gus Malzahn.
Yep, okay.
And I could see him – I know there's been rumors of –
Dr. Crane, would you take him at Starkville?
No, my eyes are set on Jamie Chadwell.
Is that the Duke guy?
He was at Coastal Carolina for a brief time.
Yeah.
Oh, he's at Liberty.
Yeah, he's at Liberty now, yes.
Okay. Now, why?
His offense fits the identity of Mississippi State with just
it's
this.
Similar to the Leach.
Yes.
Offense. Yeah.
I mean, it's not spread, air raid, there, but the RPO game, being able to spread out the defense widely and then, being able to toss it over the top when need be. It just fits the identity of Starkville. Now, for his sake of his personality, may not fit Starkville, but it'll grow on him if he does decide to go to the maroon and white of Mississippi State.
Okay. Malzahn left a stacked Liberty roster for him up there. And I'll tell you right now, Liberty's a player going forward. That campus, the money, NIL money they have up there, Liberty's not going anywhere It's a shame because Middle had them beat. Anyway,
There's another retread name that somebody texted in about Mississippi State that I've heard his name come up about some jobs. Charlie Strong.
never.
You don't think so?
Abject disaster.
I think he's a terrible head coach.
Yes, he is
That's
a
from
great
Bud.
coordinator. He should not. No. When he at Texas, he was
Yeah.
terrible at Texas for a while.
He did okay at Louisville.
Yeah, and then bounced out.
Then he was South Florida and got bounced out of South Florida.
Yep.
Yeah,
Bad.
I think he's bad. Then he was with Urban with the Jags.
He was. What's the Duke coach's name? They love him. I mean, that's.
I think his name will be up there. I know who you're. Yeah.
I mean, now the thing, Dr. Crane, is you never replace you don't want to be the guy that replaces a legend, right? So you don't want to be the guy. Zach Arnett was not going to make it to Mississippi State. We knew this, right?
Mike Elko.
Correct.
Yeah, because Leach was so beloved, and it's such a hurt loss when he passed away that that whoever came in was not going to live this. Now you've watched that with Arnett, and now the next coach comes in. I think you put that aside, right?
Well,
Wouldn't you?
yeah, but here's the thing with Zach Arnett. At the time, with the passing of Mike Leach, Mississippi State needed a coach that was a leader. And with the defense, the way it was, going last year, he was a true leader to the team. Now that's when they were like, oh, he has earned the right to be the head coach of Mississippi State. Obviously, things did not go well when they went from air raid to pro-style running offense this year.
Right.
I don't understand that. That's still beyond me. But just the name of Jamie Chadwell, the reason why I mention it is because he's a proven winner. Everywhere he's gone to coach, I think he had one losing season. But when he was with Coastal Carolina, he was ranked in the top 25 in 3 different seasons. So,
Right.
to me, that just shows you're a proven winner. And I believe that's kind of what Mississippi State fans are just urging for. They want a proven winner on their roster.
Who's the interim right now at Mississippi State?
The interim head coach, I believe, might be the offensive coordinator. I'll have to double-check with that. Don't quote me on it.
So let me ask you this, Dr. Crane. You love Mississippi State. If they go out and they pound Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl with a Thursday night, do you give him a shot to interview?
To interview, yes,
You
but
can
not
let him
for the
interview,
job.
but
Yeah.
I think you got to, with everything they've gone, I think you got to bring in a new staff.
I'm
I
with
agree.
Chase on
I
this,
agree.
yes.
6809 says Kiffin to Texas A&M, Clark Lee to South Carolina because he's built the best program in the country at Vanderbilt.
Again, I don't know the Kiffin love. We've talked about that. He's never won a big game. He's never won a big game.
But Texas A&M, I mean, yes, I know Jimbo won a national championship at Florida State. But
No coach like Kiffin's going to go and get a contract on incentive-based.
No.
Where it's so incentive-based to what you do that almost outweighs your salary. Now, I get it. If you win 10 games, here's $1 million, but if you're making $100,000 and you're going to get $1 million, no coach is going to do that. But if you want to splash and do that and go, then A&M, you deserve what you got with Jimbo. You'll deserve what you get with Lane Kiffin.
Josh says this, and this is interesting. Scott Frost to Mississippi State. Heard it here first. Josh in Clarksville.
Dr. Crane, you're the State fan.
I mean, I get it. I wouldn't be opposed of it, but, I mean, can we just look at what happened with Nebraska? I mean, come on.
But
he was
look what he did at
destined-
UCF, though, man.
I know. He was destined to fail at Nebraska.
You know who his offensive coordinator was when he was at UCF?
Heupel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mississippi State needs a Josh Heupel. That is a disciple of Mike Leach.
Yeah,
That's
well,
why that air raid
Tennessee
worked.
fans might be willing to give you Josh Heupel.
I'll take him.
If things don't go. Do we expect Vandy to compete Saturday versus Tennessee?
No, unfortunately.
We agree Nico's going to play, right?
I think so.
He's got to play.
I don't know if he starts, but I think
He's
he plays.
got to. I would start him and go with it all day. Because we talked about this. Because now this will be his 4th game. So now he gets the red shirt. The bowl game does not count towards your games that you play. So roll out Nico. I think the Tennessee fan base would go crazy to see him Saturday come out there. And by all accounts, he does great in practice and everything else. So we'll see.
I want to continue this because I got a coach that I don't know if he's going to get the big job yet, but I think he's a good football coach.
Does his name start with Jeff?
It does. Because you see my computer here.
Jeff Fisher?
No, not that.
Is it a Jeff, though?
It is a Jeff. We'll do that next. Chase and Big Joe are live today at City Winery.
man.
David Poyle's retirement lunch. He will join us here in just a little bit. And tomorrow is your chance to participate in Preds Pick to Click. If you correctly guess a Preds player that scores a goal in the Preds game tomorrow night, you'll win a pair of tickets to an upcoming Preds home game. Participate with Rabbi and Rexroad tomorrow at 8:45 a.m. Pick to Click, brought to you by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. List your home with TJ to get your home seen, heard, and sold on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Joe, live today, City Winery, David Poyle's retirement luncheon, as the Predators get a huge come-from-behind win last night against the Colorado Avalanche. And I'm not used to this yet, the former general manager of the Nashville Predators joins us now. David Poyle is at our table. And, David, I know you love these things that are all about you, but congratulations and thanks for doing this.
Well, thank you. It's very meaningful to my family. Again, one of the things that I wanted to do when they asked me they were going to put this on, and then there's a little bit of recognition tomorrow night, is that I obviously wanted my family to be there because they're the ones that have been behind me this whole way. I mean, you've heard that. I've been to many retirement situations in my life, so now this is mine, and it's so true. I mean, the balance in my life, although I try to make it as balanced as possible, wasn't always there because of hockey taking a priority in way too many situations. So I'm that guy that has missed those events for their kids and different things where I wish I could have been there. So I don't want to say there's making up to do, but there's certainly time to be doing a lot of stuff with my family now, which I want to do, and they've meant everything to me. So today I just want to show them off here when we whatever we're going to do in this luncheon here, and get them to everybody to see them and what have you. So I'm very proud of my family. And again, it's a cliche, I know, but there's no chance that I have any ability to have the amount of success I had without my wife Elizabeth being there for now 52 years.
Wow, congrats!
52 years. That's a personal record.
That's awesome.
So, all right. So it's all good. So I guess it's just great to be part of the Predators organization. And again, in a game like last night, I mean, holy mackerel. I mean, it's just one of those situations where oh gosh, we're playing good, but we're going to lose. We're going to lose, and all of a sudden we tie. Okay, we're going to get it to overtime. We won.
So was that GM David Poyle last night, or was that just fan David Poyle that came out?
I was fan. I mean, again, it's interesting where my place is now. Like I've told this story before, but the first game this year, Barry and Brian, the guys said, "Are you going to come and sit with us?" And I said, "No, I'm going to sit with my wife and my grandson and my daughter-in-law." And I noticed some kind of disappointment on their face, and I was like, I think this is the right thing for me to do, and whatever, you're always welcome. So what I didn't know, so the second home game, I went up there, and they were all waiting for me up there. And what Barry Trotz had done is he had the chair that I always sat in, he had put monogram chair for me. This is David Poyle's chair.
Oh,
nice.
And nobody ever gets to sit in it, and I'm always welcome to come up there. So
Oh,
I
that's
know
cool.
why they were disappointed the first game, but that was so cool. That was such a neat thing for him to do. So after the first period last night, I was with my family. The first period, then I went up there just to see those guys, and there's all these guys up there. And there's a chair. It's just empty. So that's pretty nice.
Now,
That's your chair.
What's funny about that first game, so that was Pete was sick, couldn't do the game. Max had to do play-by-play. So I go downstairs in the first intermission to do the player interview, and I'm hustling down the back hallway, and I look and I go, "David, what are you doing? You're in your suit, just like come on, you got to be watching the game." But I could tell that it was still a bit of a transition for you, because how many times had you been a part of opening night, whether it was here or Washington, as the general manager?
Right. Yeah, for sure. There's a transition period, as I say, on ice and off ice. I mean, a personal life, I'm around a lot more, and we always joke. Again, I see Paul Scabina wrote today a little article. My wife said, "Married for richer or poor, but not for lunch." And unfortunately for her, I'm around a lot more for lunch now. So it's just you're trying to find your spot. I mean, the Predators will always be part of me, and obviously I've got a nice relationship with them, and quote unquote I'm an advisor, and I fully realize that's a depreciating role, but it's all that I wanted, and they were happy with that. So I'll always live here in Nashville, and Predators will be my team. I'm not working anymore, so it's all good. But do I miss it? Of course I miss it. You're watching on TV and you're not at the game or something like that. You're
Right.
it's just different. But I'm fine. It's all been fantastic. I mean, no second thoughts at all. I mean, I think I had the right amount of time to prepare for this. If you remember, it was last year at this time that I had approached ownership, and I told them that this is what I was thinking, and we were on the same page. And then I got to hire Barry eventually, and then work with Barry the last 4 months. So I don't know how you could have a better transition to set yourself up for I guess hopefully success in retirement. But I'm all good. Hockey's been so good to me, so good to my family. The Predators at the top of the list, of course. So I got nothing but good things to say about Nashville and hockey, period.
We had Roman Yossi on last week, and we asked Roman, when you're day off, do you go watch hockey? He's like, absolutely not. You've had a lot of time off. Do you watch hockey on TV? Do you have that urge, like, pick up the phone, or are you able to enjoy the game now?
Last year this time the answer would have been I'm watching hockey 24/7. So our games, other games, off days in the office, got the TV on. It's just on all the time. Now that I'm stepping away from it, I'm getting a lot better. Like we actually have friends, so now they want to go out for dinner, like on a non-game night or something,
Right.
and we actually go to dinner. And sometimes that dinner is actually during when a game is on,
Yeah.
so you miss part of a game. So I'm growing up a little bit, and it's much better. It just and again, I'm ready to do something else. I mean, my wife and I have been traveling a fair bit since July, and I've been down in Florida, where we have a place down in Florida, and we're starting to make some friends down there. I'm starting to golf a bit more, so it's a new chapter, and I want it to be a new chapter for my wife and myself. And I know there's more things to do than just hockey. I mean, hockey's always going to be there, and hockey's, even at the end of the day, whenever that is, it's going to have dominated like 80% of my life anyway.
Right.
But it's time to do some other things.
When you see, Dave, you come here, and I remember I was working in news in 1997, the announcement you're hired, Barry's hired. Now we got rinks in Bellevue, Antioch, the nice one in Clarksville that's beautiful. A lot of pride for you in that?
Absolutely. And again, that's all part of the vision when you first started franchise. At least it was for me. And again, I had, again, talk about the resume that I was part of, I was given, I worked at. I mean, I grew up in a hockey family where your dad is the top player in the NHL. My dad's in the Hockey Hall of Fame. My dad, by the way, starts 2 expansion franchises, right up the alley. I saw all the great things my dad did with Philadelphia and Vancouver, and I also saw some things that I would do differently and did do differently. And I think I came in here with the right amount of experience to help, the business side, the marketing side, and with, Craig Leopold, our first ownership, to guide them along in terms of, what they could look for and what we needed to create here in Nashville. But again, I make sure when I say this, it takes a village, and there was a whole bunch of people that did a whole bunch of things from especially on the marketing side. Like, I didn't know when I came here, like Tennessee was a volunteer state. I know that, but I didn't know what that meant. And then if you look at where the Predators are, I mean, I'm more asking you a question. Aren't we Tennessee? I mean,
Absolutely.
We're volunteers. We're in the community. We do our thing on the ice, but we do as much off the ice. I mean, I couldn't be more proud of our organization for all the things that they've done. So in terms of the vision, this is exactly what you want to have happen. There was only one thing that was missing. You probably know what that might be. It starts with C and ends with cup. but you understand what I'm trying to say. This is exactly what you wanted to have happen.
When you took over here, expansion team, were the others in the league telling you, you're crazy, David? Why are you taking over expansion team? You had to have heard that.
Yeah, I knew a lot of guys. Obviously had a lot of experience by then, and they all had their stories about expansion, the guys that had done it before and how bad it was going to be, et cetera, et cetera. But as I've said many times, I mean, somebody gave me a chance, and I wanted to give other people a chance, like Barry Trotz is the world, a lot of scouts, and whether this was going to be good or bad, I was going to have my fingerprints all over it, and I felt that was the right challenge for me. I was, at this time, I had another offer to go to a more established team, and I came here, and my dad, he couldn't understand it.
And you've never revealed that team, by the way.
But anyway.
And he still won't.
Anyway, it was just felt like the right thing for me. And again, I can guarantee you I could have been the greatest general manager of all time in this other place. There's not a chance I would be lasted there 25 years. It just doesn't work like this. I mean, this was a special opportunity. It was a special time in my life, and it all worked out tremendously for me and my family. And when you think about it, it wasn't like never a smooth road. I mean, we went through like three ownership changes, and usually when there's ownership changes, there's changes at every level, including and especially the general manager. So just the fact that I was able to work with more and different people as we continued to move the franchise up and got through some rocky times somewhat amazing. So it just worked out great. As I said, this will be like the third time I probably said in this interview, is just I couldn't ask for. I don't want to change anything. I mean, the only thing you change is if seriously, if we could have just won the cup. I mean, that's the only thing I'd ever want to change.
Longtime Predators general manager David Poile is with us, and it's interesting that thinking about that and the what ifs, and I'm sure you do that throughout your career as long as you were in it. Ryan Johansson comes back last night. Great honor to him. I look at that as, in trades you made throughout your tenure here, that was one of those that you take the Predators from one era into the next, because you had said when you made that deal, trading a young player like Seth Jones, that we had always coveted a true number one center, and at the time that's what Ryan was. I contend, whether you agree with this or not, that he doesn't get hurt against Anaheim, we probably have a cup in Nashville. I've always felt that way.
I would like to believe that.
Yeah, I mean,
those again. You look back and there's so many stories, and I guess for us sports guys, we could talk for hours about if this, if that, and trades and what have you. But the Ryan Johansson for Seth Jones, that was a difficult one to make. But we could not get this number one center. It never lined up for us. It wasn't available to us in trades, and it never lined up for us in the draft. I mean, we were good on getting the defenseman, but we could not get this number one center. So I think it was, and of course I want to agree with you, I think it took us to a different level, and we were still able to be good enough on defense. So again, I wouldn't change that. I wish I could have kept Seth Jones, because I think is a top defenseman. Again, it would have made us, like, with our defense, one of the best defenses in the league. But there's so many things that changed over the years, and I'm just thinking as we're talking here, like we had the Suter and Weber pair, which to me could have gone down in history as maybe the greatest pair that ever played together in the national, because they would have played together for basically 20 years, and you'd never even seen that before. And unfortunately, money got in the way of decisions like that. So there's lots of twists and turns along the way, that nothing stays the same very long.
Well, and you and I have talked about this before, that as tough as the Suter thing was, if he stays, do we have Yossi? Is Roman Yossi what Roman Yossi is now?
Exactly. Then you had Roman Yossi, and as you said, you had Seth Jones, and it was all these different variables. But that's what the puzzle is. That's why I had such a great job, because you had these huge decisions to make every day. It was fun. It was challenging. It was great. I was the luckiest guy in the world to have this job.
I've heard you countless times say in a press conference that it was a tough decision. You just said it here. Like it was tough, and most of the decisions that you have to make as a general manager are probably tough decisions. Is there one over your career that was easy, but you didn't even have to think twice?
Well, there might have been somebody.
You thought you were done with my tough questions.
Well, no, it might have been somebody that was maybe not fitting into the team, whether it be character-wise or what have you. That just it's just time to make that change or what have you. But as I said in a lot of interviews, like one of the toughest trades was last year at the trading deadline, and it was a guy that was only here for a short period of time. That was Nino Niederreiter. And the point being is that he was Roman Yossi's best friend. Roman had a lot to do with him deciding to come to Nashville, and and he came here at 2 years or a contract, so it was not, everything was good, and he was a good player for us, but we didn't play well, and he got victimized by that. So he didn't ask to go to Winnipeg, and I'm not just saying it's Winnipeg but he didn't deserve that when signed. And I think that if I'm the manager and I'm continuing to do that, I think that will hurt us in terms of getting free agents to want to come here if we're not somewhat loyal to them. But that's a little bit of different thinking. But everything runs its course a little bit.
Sure.
Matthias,
and I meant that question in a good way.
No, and like Matthias Ekholm, I mean, that's a futures move.
Yeah.
Totally futures. Tanner Jeannot, a total futures move. And I think it's important for the fans to understand we don't have anything for those guys, basically. I mean, we got Barry for Ekholm, but we've got Schaefer in the minors, and we got a first-round pick in Molendyk that represent those guys. We got nothing for Tanner Jeannot. We got a third-round pick, McKinnon, right now, but we have 4 more picks for them. So it's going to take time for all that to pan out if it's going to do that. But you don't have Tanner Jeannot, so you're not as good in that toughness area. You don't have Ekholm, and you're not as good on defense. So those are the deals that really hurt, because I'm not, we use these word rebuilding and stuff like that. I never wanted to use that word, like step backwards, things like that. But that's where we are, right now. We got to figure some more things out. We got to get our younger players to play, a little bit better, to grow up a little bit faster, and we're going to get there pretty quickly. But it's just different.
Yeah,
It is. Thank you for this. It's another great day honoring you. We appreciate what you've done for the city, David. It
Thank
means
you
a
guys.
lot.
Thank
Yeah.
you for everything you guys done for us. Appreciate all that too. Full
and
appreciation.
There we go.
The guy you picked to succeed you, I think he's doing a pretty good job too. So
That Barry Trotz guy.
yeah, that Barry Trotz guy. I know that has to be special to have
Absolutely.
him back.
What was my best decision? Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe my first decision was.
See, that was I set you up with an easy decision.
Yeah.
That could have been it.
Yeah, that's great. Now Barry's going to do fantastic, and not only is he a good general manager, but as you all know, he's a great person, and he's fabulous for our community.
Well,
Yes.
David, enjoy the day
Yep.
with your family, and you deserve every accolade that you're getting and you're going to get. And always appreciative of your time and how you've been towards me personally. So
Okay, and I'm an advisor now, so if you guys need any help, just give me a
What's
call.
that number, David?
I got your number. I will give you a call for sure, David. And happy Thanksgiving to you and the family as well.
You guys too. Thanks a lot.
David Poyle, former Predators general manager, joining us here on the program. Are we going to squeeze in celebrity birthdays real quick?
Do you want to take a quick break and come back?
No, we're going to the end.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let me. I'm still unprepared.
You didn't
here.
look at your text. That's okay.
That's okay. No, I was admiring our great guest we just had here. Okay, we can do this.
Yes, we can.
Dr.
Thank you,
Crane,
David.
hit the music, buddy. And then find the day here. All right. Chase, who's celebrity birthdays brought to you by?
Celebrity Birthdays is brought to you by our man Zach Pillar, who's going to join us tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And his new Instagram account. Follow Zach on Instagram at Zach Pillar Design 69 and step into his world.
All right, first birthday today, America's favorite game, celebrity birthdays, is Goldie Hawn. Chaser, how old is Goldie Hawn?
Ooh. 82.
74.
78.
Nice.
TV host, I love this TV host, Michael Strahan.
Or Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yes.
50.
53.
52, Dr. Crane. Nice. Well done, buddy. Who else? Don't know her. Singer Carly Rae Jepsen.
Is it the Call Me Maybe?
Maybe. Not sure.
30?
32.
38.
Oh, okay.
No idea. She's 38. Okay, more for us. Here we go. Actor Lawrence Luckinbill.
Lawrence Luckinbill. I have no idea who that is, so I'm going to say 48.
I'm going to luck out on this one and go 56.
89. Actress Marlo Thomas. Who is she married to?
No
Phil Donahue. How old is Marlo Thomas?
52.
56.
86.
Nice.
Not bad there. Christian singer Stephen Curtis Chapman, who lives here in Nashville, Middle Tennessee.
Oh, yeah. 56.
61.
61 exactly. Dr.
Nice.
Crane.
Okay.
Painting the corners. Love it. Singer Bjork.
Bjork. 47.
Bjork, we're going to go in the 50s again. We're going to go 52.
58. Actress Nicolette Sheridan. She was on Desperate Housewives and Knots Landing.
64.
62.
60. Dr. Crane, well done, buddy.
Thank you.
Like the way you do things.
We got to roll.
Okay, one more. Rapper Pretty Lou of Lost Boys.
49.
52.
52 exactly. Good job,
Okay,
Dr. Crane.
sweet.
Very good.
4-0 Pound wins.
That is
Well
going
done.
to do it for us from City Winery. Caroline William D. Mace coming up next. Appreciate David Poyle for joining the show. Good conversation with him. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
And as always, we tell you guys out there, our buddies, if you're struggling, need to talk to somebody, please reach out. 988 on your cell phone. Please call 988. Somebody's there willing to talk to you every single day. If you need to talk now, call Chase and I will talk to you. We want you guys to know that you are absolutely loved and our world is a better place because you are in it. Please know that.
Absolutely. Caroline William D. Mace next. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.